Hey guys, Nick here, and welcome back to my Supergirl episode review. My thoughts on last night's episode of Supergirl titled Resist. And last night's episode was, I think, one of the better episodes of the show. And you guys know, this season, the way it's been kind of ending hasn't been the greatest to me. Mainly because, and you guys know my feelings on Mon-El and just like the lack of focus this season. And I don't know, to me, I just feel like the showrunners didn't really know what to do with certain storylines, and they put other storylines to the side in favor of other ones, and ultimately I don't know if they really worked out, but I thought this episode was really good. Just some minor stuff aside, first of all, seeing Calista Flockhart back as Cat Grant was the highlight of the episode, because you really felt her presence gone when she left, and I mean, you have to understand that. So, like, when the show moved from the CW, or from CBS to the CW, production moved from LA to Vancouver, and Calista Flockhart being from LA and living in LA, she couldn't exactly move her entire life to Vancouver to shoot the show. I mean, she did the first couple of episodes of the season, and she said she'd come back at some point, but she couldn't be a series regular anymore, so they had to write her off for the time being. Because she has a life to live, and she's married to Harrison Ford, so they're both very busy people. But I'm really just happy just to see her back, and I think again she was like the emotional heart of this episode. And I feel like I say that a lot lately, but she really was, and she was just the same Cat Graham we knew from when she left. And when they were explaining like how like the reason why she left because she didn't feel happy and like all this stuff, and they're giving the explanation why. Like, I don't know if they're hinting that Calista Flockhart could potentially come back as a series regular. I mean, I doubt it because, of what I just said, that of her being in LA and she can't exactly make the move. But I do hope that she has more of a role to play, because I think, again, her presence it adds to the show. And I'm really just happy that she's back for these couple of episodes, for being the last 2 episodes of the season, with next week being the finale. But I really do enjoy, Calista being around and on the show, because I feel like this season, some people say, oh, it's better than season 1. In a lot of aspects it is, but there's something lacking this season. Like, I feel like it was the same sort of problem I had with last season, where just like, there wasn't a focus. Like, they made it seem like, oh, Cadmus was going to be the villains of the season. And for a while it seemed like that. And then they bring in Terry Hatcher as Mon-El's mom, and then it's like, oh, but we're really doing this invasion storyline, and it's just like, really, we're doing it, like, I don't know. And to be honest, I'm not, like, as enthralled with Terry Hatcher's performance. Other than, it's just not, I don't know, I just don't feel like Terry Hatcher is a good fit on this kind of show. Like, it's one thing for her to be, like, a Lois Lane kind of character, but for her to be, like, an alien queen that you're supposed to hate. I mean, granted, like, I hate her character, like, for the right reasons. I don't know, you guys know for the last couple weeks that there's something off about that character to me, and it's hard for me to say what it is, and I don't know. I'm not saying I hate Terry Hatcher's performance or anything, it's just like, there's something that I'm not drawn to, So, I don't know. So there's that. But I thought this episode was really, really well done. Again, one of my only small gripes is that there wasn't enough James, because they had him, and then like him and Maggie kind of like out in the streets, and with him as Guardian, and then he came back and he like saved Win and Cat at Catco, and then Cat's like, oh, thanks, James, and he's like, oh, I'm Guardian. She's like, come on, I can see your eyes through the slit. And he's like, oh. So I thought that was fun. And I was happy to see James, in action again, and it's one thing I wish I saw more of was Martian Manhunter, because I saw at the end of last week, like, Rhea did something to him where he's like essentially in a coma, so he's like kind of like out for the count for this episode, and maybe even the finale. I mean, I have to imagine they have to bring him back for the finale, but I just wish I saw more of him. But seeing this episode, seeing like, humanity kind of come together like this, and when you have the return of Linda Carter as the president, and she kind of reveals her identity as an alien to the world, and Cat Grant's response is like, I don't care if you're an alien as long as you're still a Democrat. That was a great line, and I just loved, like, my feelings of Terry Hatcher's character aside, seeing these great female actresses all interacting with each other. Like, you have Linda Carter, you have Calista Flockhart, you have Terry Hatcher, like just in that one scene with them on Air Force One, and Cat's just like, we're better than this. We have nothing to measure like into, like when men feel the need to, project themselves in a bigger way because that's the measure of their manhood, so to speak, if you guys know what I mean. And she's just saying how, like, as women, we need to be better. We can be civil about this, and like some people might say like, oh, it's like heavy-handed feminism, blah 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 blah. But it's like she's making a great point. Whereas like men, we always like to speak with our fists and not necessarily our words. When we try to speak with our words, we make ourselves look dumb. And I'm not saying that's a generalization of all men, but for the most part, that's true. And it's just in today's day and age, when we look at who's running the country, what Kat says like resonates with me, because I'm not too political, but I'm very anti-Trump. So I found what Kat had to say very meaningful and resonated with me. And I don't know, again, some people might think it's heavy-handed. I thought it worked. I thought it was great, and it's because I feel like that's also an aspect of the show that's been kind of gone. It's like, even though like it might have been a little heavy-handed in the first few episodes of the first season, like its feminist message, just feel like it's kind of gone away a bit. Now that's moved to the CW and Kat Graham being gone, there's no one really to kind of push push feminism forward in the show. I just wish, I'm not saying they have to do it every single week, but I just wish they did it a little more than they did, So that way, like, I mean, the show can be inspiring for young girls and girls of all ages, and women as well. But I do wish that Kat was around or someone was there to kind of help push that forward, because I'm noticing a little more more men are becoming involved in the show. So that's where I feel like that message is kind of getting lost not to say lost in translation, but that message is kind of fading away because you have less female involvement. I think I didn't say that men can't be feminists and men can't help advocate for feminism in a show, but I feel like this season it's been lacking, and that's just something I've noticed. What else? And there's still a lot of great stuff in this episode between all the action. The action was great. The alien invasion stuff, you really do feel like the world is at stake. Like it's not just like, oh, it's National City. I mean, even though it is mostly focused on National City, you do feel like the world is being threatened, especially when you have the president coming in and all that stuff going on. I really am enjoying what they're doing with that, even though like I feel like the invasion thing is like we already saw that in the crossover this year. Do we really need another invasion? But I mean, again, it's working to an extent for me. I am really just happy to see all these great characters come together and join forces. Not so much, like Liliana Luthor and Cyborg Superman. Their characters were just in this episode, but I did like seeing Len in this episode, and then Terry Hatcher's character trying to force the marriage between her and Mon-El. And how does Mon-El not just break out of that ship? I feel like he has the strength to. He could just break out of one of those windows or whatever, and then just jump to the ground and he'd be fine. I don't know. But I really like Lana in this episode. She kind of stood her ground for the most part, and then when Terry Hatcher threatened to kill thousands of people in the hospital, and then that's what made her decide not to, or decide to just listen to her because she has almost no other choice. And I'm just glad to see Lana has they've kept her as a good character. I mean, we don't know if it's gonna be in a third season that she'll turn bad or if she'll still stick around. But Lana Luthor has become one of my favorite characters in the show, and I'm glad to see her and Car's relationship has gone to that best friend stage, or I kind of hope it goes beyond that at some point. I mean, I don't know if the show has the guts to do that sort of thing, but I kind of hope so. And of course, this episode ends with Tyler Hoechlin back as Superman. Seems to be under some sort of mind control from Terry Hatcher, and I guess we'll see how that plays out. I'm not gonna get further than that, because you guys know I don't like Tyler Hoechlin Superman at all. And again, this is coming from a lifelong Superman fan who's liked pretty much every other interpretation of the character, obviously including Henry Cavill's Man of Steel. Just something about Tyler Hoechlin I just haven't liked, so I'm not necessarily looking forward to that aspect of the episode. And especially if I don't like mind-controlled superhero stories, because I feel like they've overplayed those so many times with an animation or film or whatever. We've seen it so many damn times. Why do we need another damn mind-control story? That's just what bothers me more than anything. But again, other than those small things, I really enjoyed this episode. I really like seeing James back in action, especially seeing Cat Grant back, Linda Carter, the dynamics between everyone and the DEO working together. from the alien dive bar. That was really cool. I don't know, I feel like this was one of the better episodes of the show. And one thing I can say is that, like, this time last year, not saying this time last year, but, like, the penultimate episode of first season and the finale as well, to an extent, wrapped up better, or were better episodes than most of the episodes in the regular season. I feel the same way with this. Like, this show had a good start, kind of a rocky middle for the most part. But I feel like it's wrapping up fairly well. I really enjoyed this episode, and I'm hoping the finale ends on a high note for me. There's probably going to be a cliffhanger of some kind, or someone's going to die or leave or whatever. But I am just really hoping that it ends strong, because this season just hasn't been the best season in my eyes. But, and it hasn't been terrible. It's just been really uneven to me. But, yeah. But again, I'm really looking forward to the finale, and it seems to be like it looks like it's going to wrap up well. But, yeah, I think with that being said, that's going to be it for me. So what did you guys think of this latest episode? Send your thoughts in the comments section below. Give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button for all the other content on my channel. Since I'm filming this Tuesday morning, tonight I'll be doing my review of tonight's episode of The Flash. Tomorrow night I'll be doing my review of Arrow. And as a bit of an update for you guys. So yesterday, while I was at work, my fiance Amy, who you guys have seen on the channel probably, got me some early birthday presents, because my birthday's coming up here in a few weeks. And she got me. Hold on, let me pull these up for you guys. As you guys can see, I have a ton of Funko Pops. Like, I'm a huge Funko Pop collector. And yesterday she got me these two Wonder Woman movie Funko Pops, obviously with Wonder Woman and Hippolyta. I was really happy to see those, as well as she got me advanced screening passes through her work, because she works for a hospital as a surgical tech. She was able to get advanced screening tickets of Wonder Woman, so I'm going to be seeing that on the 31st, the day before my birthday, and I'll be doing a review that night. So I'll be seeing it a day early compared to most of you guys. So you guys can expect a review that night, just to let you guys know. It's still a couple weeks away, but I just want to give you guys a heads up. So yeah, that's going to be it for me. So thank you guys for watching, and until next time, have a good one.